Computer.
Perfect.
Back now.
We are back. We are back. We are back. Yes.
And if you're now finding this video, thank you for tuning in. Part 1 can be found on the page or below in the link below. So let's dive in. So we last ended on the topic, the question of why is it important to create a practice of grounding for yourself? From that, we're now going to move into how can this help with your growth spiritually, emotionally, and physically? So now that we okay, why is it important for us to ground ourselves?
Yes.
How is this going to help us? And like what in those aspects of spiritually, emotionally, and physically, how can it help in those?
Yes, 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 yes. Also, you don't need to mute yourself. I love hearing the birds chirping in the background. I love the sound of nature, the ambient sound of nature.
Oh,
Um,
birds, start chirping again. Thank you.
I know. Now,
Leaves.
so the question is how, repeat the question for me again.
How can this help with your growth? Okay, so the first,
Yes.
what does feeling grounded mean to you? Why is it important to create this practice of grounding for yourself? And how can it help you with your growth?
My answer to this question is quite simple because I feel like the answer has been embedded in our past answers. It's helpful because it creates a solid foundation from which you can co-create. Like, simply put, groundedness is the most fertile soil that you'll ever have in your human existence. Groundedness is where you can sow the seeds of whatever it is you're looking to create and can trust that they will come to fruition in divine timing. There's a power in the fertility of groundedness that is almost like guaranteed success, in my opinion. You know, it may not look, the quote unquote success may not look like what you're expecting because only the Most High, the universe, our ancestors, Mother Nature has the greatest vantage point and can see all things, right? But it will still materialize in a way that benefits you because you planted those seeds in a place, from a place of groundedness. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I don't want to over explain. It truly is just like the most beautiful, fertile soil that you can co-create from, which is why which is how I believe it is helpful.
Very beautifully said. You heard the bird?
I sure did.
I wanna also grow on that. Pun intended. I wanna grow on that the idea of how can this help with your growth, like you said, is to co-create from that place of trust, that place of stability, that place of let's just give a little analogy of if we planted a seed, right? In dirt, not soil, dirt. The likelihood of that plant growing is less. It's already because it doesn't have the right conditions, right? Its environment. Let's plant a seed in water. I don't think a seed can necessarily grow in water. I mean, unless it's some can.
There's like hydroponics, I think it's called, where you
True.
can
Don't worry,
plant a
guys.
seed.
I'm a plant mama, but we're
I'm screaming.
still learning. Okay, let's just leave it there. Just leave it at what I said. Dirt versus soil.
Yes.
Dirt versus soil. Just because as like recently doing more planting, like the bed was it kept killing plants. Like no matter what plant we put in that bed, it wasn't growing. It was dying. And then somebody was like, oh, you don't have the right soil, or maybe something's wrong with the soil. So then I said, okay, like, let's change it up. Let's put different nutrients. Let's mix
Yes.
the soil with the dirt so that it still has irrigation or something. We just try different.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And then the second one dead as well. So it was,
Mm,
is it the soil? What's happening? But then we now put a bigger tree and
mm,
different types of trees. So I think that type of tree, right? The different species of trees, and that
mm,
particular one, it didn't really thrive in that bed area because it wasn't getting enough sun. It wasn't
mm,
it like the moisture was too much in the soil. So
mm-hmm,
using that visual, you'll get the visual of the condition.
mm-hmm,
Like us as humans,
mm-hmm,
how can this help our growth? Like when we are in stillness, when we are in nature, when we are in environments where we feel at peace,
mm-hmm.
when we can find that peace within, we're able to co-create from a more expansive place versus
Ashe.
like I'm feeling like you're nervous.
Restricted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For example, another example yesterday, in belly dancing with Nalini, we were doing drills of snake arms, right? So just example,
Mm-hmm,
if I do this, like, right,
mm-hmm,
versus that's from my hand going this
mm-hmm,
versus
mm-hmm,
my shoulder.
mm-hmm.
Did you see the difference?
A little bit.
I mean, I should be standing, but okay, versus this
Mm-hmm.
versus this.
Yeah. The
And
movements are different. Yeah.
they're different. So we drilled on that and noticing in our nervous system. One lady, she was like, they were like, okay, like let's rotate our shoulder cuff. She couldn't go
Mm-hmm.
past this.
Mm,
Couldn't get herself to go down like hair.
mm, mm, mm,
There's
mm.
so much that she needs to
Tension.
work through in her
Mm-hmm,
back, in her shoulders before she can get to this.
mm-hmm,
We're tapping up, like massaging, doing all the things. So like to me, that's like, how can this help you when you build that practice of grounding
mm.
yourself, you are able to have more room, more space,
Ashe.
right?
More movement.
Your body
Mm-hmm,
is like, oh yes, I can. Oh, okay, we can do our work now. Like
mm-hmm,
do what we're meant
mm-hmm.
to be able. So spiritually, you're able to find that connection. Emotionally, you're able to release. And
Yes.
physically, your nervous system is telling you, okay, we're safe.
Yes. 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 Absolutely. Absolutely. And I just want to, I'm inspired to add that what I took from, your analogies and your examples of what you expressed is that this this foundation of groundedness is unique to everyone.
Mhm.
We all require different practices, different conditions, different environments, different inputs, different outputs in order for us to feel that groundedness. And so I just mentioned that just to highlight, to celebrate that there's no one way to tap into grounding.
Mm.
There's no one way to feel that groundedness. And so if there's a practice that you do that makes you feel grounded, that makes someone else not feel so grounded, that's okay because it works for you and it allows you to tap into that inner wisdom, that inner connection. And so I just wanted to add that as a means of encouragement for everyone to find their own unique blend of of factors that inform their groundedness.
Ashe.
Yeah.
Ashe.
Mhm.
Yes. And I think
Mhm.
that beautifully it flows into our next question, which is
Mm.
you share on your journey with the
Mm.
of having systems for your spiritual hygiene and nourishment. And this
Mm.
is just an example, y'all. Casey is a beautiful example of creating
Mm.
systems for regulating her nervous system. And
Sure.
my girl, I from a friendship and knowing you perspective is like you never do anything anymore from a place of it feels resistance. Like,
Yeah, I definitely try my best. Like nobody's perfect,
mhm.
right? But I definitely try my best to tap into flow,
Yeah.
because I understand the power that exists there for me. And like if I know that I can go somewhere and tap into that power, then why not access it as much as possible, versus the opposite, which is feeling that resistance, feeling that stress on me mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever it might be.
So, yeah, your period.
Mhm.
I have nothing to say on that other than
Ajay.
please share with us something that you do in your everyday life. Maybe it's like when you wake up, before you go to bed,
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
small things that you do in your life to ensure that you
Yes.
feel grounded, that you feel
Yes.
spiritually hygienic is
Yes.
the word you used, and
Yes.
things that nourish.
Yes. Yes. Small things, because it is in the detail. Like it is in the small things. So I'm glad that you mentioned that. Because most people are looking for this like dramatic reveal, or this big idea, or this big thing that's going to change their trajectory or change their past. But it's actually in the minutia. It's actually in the small aspects of everyday life that help you build the habits, that help you build the lifestyle. And so for me personally, rising, first thing I do is connect to spirit,
Mm,
whether it be through prayer or through conversation, just tapping into what my fresh self in a new day has in store for me. That always, 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 always begins with gratitude, because no day is promised. And so if my eyes are open on that day, I say, wow, God, you blessed me with another one. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to try my best. I'm so thankful. And then those thoughts then shift to, all right, Casey, you've rested well. Trustfully, you've rested well. What does your spirit feel called to express today? What do you feel called to? What are you gravitating towards? So tapping in with spirit, and also tapping in with myself at the top of the day, before I connect with anyone or anything else. Um, Another small habit I would say that I do my best to do daily, depending on the environment in which I'm in, is nature walks. I
mm.
love moving my body. I love me a good power walk, okay? I love me a good, you know, walking through nature, taking those steps, feeling, heel to toe on the ground, just feeling, smelling the
Sorry,
smells.
I have to pause.
Yes.
I have to put myself on mute because this weather, it changed so
Oh
quickly.
no.
It's about to storm out here. I'm hearing the thunder.
Ooh, showers of blessing. Shower. Well, let the thunder have its peace as well. There's nothing wrong with that.
My
In
laptop.
in my opinion.
My
In
laptop.
my
What?
opinion.
Yeah.
Well, this is the
Okay, we'll
last
wait it
question. So
out. Yeah, we'll wait it
yeah,
out. Okay, continue.
we'll be wrapping up shortly. But yeah, just spending time in nature, whether it be going for walks or just going to sit on a bench and breathe, or in this context, it's me going to the roof, and taking moments to breathe and people watch. Getting that time with nature is imperative, because again, it helps just transmute. When I'm in the presence of greenery, lushness, something happens within me subconsciously where I'm just like, ah, like I can release and make space for what wants to settle in. Um, so many practices that I can mention, but steaming is something that has become an integral part of my spiritual hygiene. For those of you that do not know or are not aware, steaming is an ancient practice of um, sitting over a pot of steaming water, and you can like add herbs, and um, you can add herbs and plants to your water, but it is essentially kind of like the steaming out of your yoni, your sacral energy. It's great for spirit. It's great in spiritual contexts, but it's also great in physical contexts as well. And most of the time that I'm on my steam stool are times where I'm like, you from the outside in, you might perceive me as crazy because I will have like straight up have a conversation with myself, be like, all right, okay, what is going on? What do you want to come out? Like, there have been times where I have moved through such traumatic experiences on this stool. There have been times where I have been able to just tap into spirit. There have been times where I have been able to build up my confidence again on this steam stool. And so steaming regularly is another small habit. It's not daily, but it is another small habit that I add into my lifestyle to maintain that spiritual hygiene. Go ahead.
I was going to say that I have never before y'all.
Oh, really?
I've
That's
been
so surprising.
I know. I think I just haven't had the right conditions in terms of
Yeah.
like knowing where to start. So I definitely would
Yes.
love for us to take a time to just do a video.
Let's deep dive. Yeah, I would love to have that conversation.
Yeah,
I would love to have that
this would be a
conversation.
really good topic for women, especially on how to
Absolutely.
feel because and personally, I guess my way of connecting to my womb is through dance.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Mhm.
different people. But I think it's really beautiful how you say, you've been able to work through trauma, work through, like,
Yes.
build your confidence, especially because
Yes.
that's something I think a lot of women, including myself, at times have a disconnection with
Struggles with.
our reproductive system, with our vagina, with our sacral chakra, with our
Yeah.
creative womb. Like,
Yeah.
get to know it. Get to know
Yes.
it. It's like we just kind of disconnected in the sense of it's just meant for pleasure. It's meant for our
Hmm.
monthly cycle.
Yes.
Like I love how you've been able to build a relationship.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that because I am coming from a place of great disconnection. I cannot emphasize that enough. Disassociation, even. So to be building, because for me it's a work in progress. I'm nowhere near where I would like to be in my relationship with my reproductive organs, my yoni, my vagina, my sacral chakra, but I'm making such great progress because I have committed to steaming being a part of my lifestyle. Hmm. Okay. Um, excellent. Um, what else can I add? Also nutrition. Oh, nutritional habits. Do you want to do you want to pause? I can't hear you. You're on mute.
Yeah. For those of you watching, this is real life. Real life.
We got to
Okay.
move inside sometimes when the rain comes. But we do
Exactly.
welcome and receive the showers of blessings that are about to fall. That makes me excited that the rain started
Yeah.
while we're on this conversation because that means to me that this is a blessed conversation for sure.
Agree. And I think also just with that was my moment of grounding. I'm in the darkness
Okay.
now.
I know.
But that was my moment of grounding and being outside and listening to the birds, listening to the grass getting freshly cut. It
Mm,
it was a good time and a very conducive environment for our conversation.
Ashe.
And we're back in the environment uh, of domestication. We're back home inside.
Yes. Yes, we're
So
inside. We're inside and that's okay.
I would love to, yeah, nourishment. Like, what are some of the
Yeah.
foods that you feed yourself that give you that energy, that burst
Hmm.
of groundedness? Like, what are some of
Hmm.
the foods can you share with us?
So a concept that was shared with me, that was presented to me
Yeah.
by,
Look at that timing. Pouring now.
yeah, showers of blessings. We receive them. But yeah, a concept that was presented to me and shared with me by my beautiful, wonderful partner,
Mhm.
has been to eat life-filled foods.
Yes.
Food with life, food with seeds, fruits, vegetables, things that have come from the earth as we, in this conversation about groundedness and soil and the perfect conditions for growth. What better way, since we don't have roots that go into the soil, what better way to connect with the earth than to eat foods that are from the earth and of the earth, and lots of water,
Mm.
lots and lots of water, staying hydrated, ensuring that you are tapping into your daily intake of water and that you are flushing your body out of as much toxins as possible. And
Mm.
again, I say this from a place of being a work in progress. I'm not perfect. Not every day is, the most bountiful, nutritional day for me. But when I look back at my history, I can definitely attest to my nutritional habits being a complete 180 and feeling so proud of how far I have come. Um, and cooking,
Example,
cooking
y'all.
your own
I met
food.
Casey. Just a little insight.
Yes,
When I met Casey,
me.
he was like, I'm not dragging. I was just saying, like, your stories of sharing with me, and even myself, how living in Toronto, we would crave
Hmm.
like burgers. We would McDonald's,
Yes,
fries,
yes,
whatever.
yes.
Like, what was the fastest and the most convenient thing?
Convenient,
Because
convenient.
yeah, because both of us were working such high, like, demanding.
Stressed. Yeah, we were
No,
stressed.
say no more.
We were stressed. We were
Exactly.
stressed. We
So
were
as a
stressed out,
result
and yeah.
of
Go
stress,
ahead.
no, I was just saying, as a result of stress, we are just like, we're hungry. We're not even
Yeah.
hungry. We're
Low
hungry.
hanging fruit, low hanging fruit. We didn't have the conditions to even think from a place of groundedness of like, what would be good for my body? What
Mhm.
would help me with energy? It would just be like, I've had a stressful day. I'm annoyed at my situation. I need money. I got to pay my bills. On the way home, I pass a Wendy's or a McDonald's or a Burgatory or whatever. I'm just going to grab something and go home and eat and detach from my day, because
Mhm.
really what it was for me, what that consumption was for me, was in order for me to tap into mindlessness so that I didn't have to think about how stressful my life was.
And it was
And
an
so I've
instant gratification.
absolutely, because nothing else in life was making me feel good. So if I'm going to eat, I want it to be something that evokes those feel good feelings, those exactly. And so I've made the transition from mindless consumption in all aspects of the word to mindful consumption. So that translates to nutrition, but also what I consume media wise, what I consume conversation wise, energy wise,
Mhm.
because all of that is consumption and all of that matters. And all of those things make up those habits um, that call for either groundedness or a lack thereof.
Mm. So beautifully said. I know I keep saying that, y'all, but it is it is music every time, and I hope
Sure.
whatever she said is resonating with you right now, because
Sure.
I personally know that we've all been there. We've all been there at times. I mean, even if you haven't, well, congratulations to you. And
Right.
we pray
You're
for
in the
you.
minority.
Well,
We
not
trust that
even that.
you teach those around you, or you inspire. We trust that you inspire those around you.
For example, I have a friend in Trinidad who her parents grew her up being vegan and being
Mm-hmm.
vegetarian. And don't quote me, y'all, but she tried chicken for the first time and she was like, ugh, this is nasty, this texture, what is it? So just those conditions of, like, you don't know until you know.
Mm-hmm.
And if
Mm-hmm.
you've been inputting things into your body, like, your body knows what's not for it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So and it's interesting because when you really listen, I'm gonna invite everyone to also just listen to what your body needs. Listen to what your body is craving. And you know what? I know, let's say that lightly, because sometimes our body, if we're feeding it junk food, is gonna crave junk food.
Mm-hmm.
And
But that's information as well, and that's something to listen to as well. Because
right,
if you can understand, like, if you can understand that this food is not the best food for you, but your body is craving it, then that means that there is a relationship or a dependency that needs to be broken. And so listening to your body wholeheartedly and overall is the message. Because if you're craving things that are detrimental to you, then it provides you with information, or it empowers you to make empowered change if you so choose, but it is up to you.
Something that came to mind, sorry, my ADHD brain was like, say it now,
No,
but
no, no.
I definitely agree. Like it something is emotionally deeper there. Like
Hmm.
emotionally, what are you not facing? Like what you said
Yes.
here, like it was like
Hmm.
we're stressed that we're just like we want to disconnect. So as it's maybe diving deeper into why. Why do I feel like this? What is going on with me
Yeah.
emotionally? And
Why am I harming myself?
so that's another topic of harming yourself, of like somebody said to me the other day that in this lifetime we're not the war is with ourselves, like the
Yes.
war and like how a lot of people these days are self-harming and committing suicide by
Mm,
like choosing these choices, by choosing.
making destructive lifestyle decisions.
Exactly. So like distracting yourself from what's actually going on inside. Like when you think about ancestors, okay, we're going to the topic for a moment. It's 27 in, but our ancestors had no access to the outside world other than what they were experiencing right in front of them.
Hmm.
Like I stumbled upon somebody who was like their ancestors was too busy going on in the fields, planting, reaping, hard work
Hmm.
they doing. They had no time
Hmm.
to be like, oh, I'm depressed, whatever.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you're right.
even if they felt that back then, right? Like
Right.
I'm sure everything is up here. But
Right.
the reality of it was they were so immersed in what they had to survive doing that they
Hmm.
didn't have time. But now it's like these feelings of sadness, of grief, and we have outlets that are slowly allowing us to to make the, you know what I mean, like the influence
Hmm.
greater.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
saying that to say, for myself, I can share like my spiritual hygiene and creating systems. I with with ADHD too, and I'm not saying that to probably everybody have ADHD, y'all. Let's be real. If you're a creative person, your mind is more expansive and like is on a
There's a
different,
lot going
there's
on.
a lot
Yeah.
going on. So saying that to say it's finding what works for you again, like what Casey said.
Yes.
There's no right or wrong way because when you think of
Right.
the geniuses of history, Einstein, Bill Gates, Tesla, they all had weird things about them, like in
Are
science.
they genius? Are those latter two geniuses?
Well, okay, it's fair.
Are those latter two? I don't know if they're geniuses. They made a lot of money. They're capitalists. They're great
Well,
capitalists.
Nicola, well, sorry.
They're not my genius.
No, I'm not saying,
Sis.
but in historical times, like, Einstein and
Fair.
Tesla in
That's
their
fair.
time, they were
That's
like
fair.
the mad people. Like, they were like,
Yes.
what's going on
Yes.
with
That's
this
fair.
person? But they were so revolutionary into what we have now. And
Right. 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 Right.
saying that to say, I want to go back to the hygienes and the systems of groundedness because, right, whatever makes them feel like Nikola Tesla used to do 369, like everything had to be in 369. And
Mm,
that worked for him. So for myself, it's like, okay, my brain, even on this topic, on these conversations, I may not be for everybody listening in. They might be like, oh, she's everywhere all at once, but this is who I am. And
mhm,
like when it comes to feeling grounded and having the systems, dance. When I don't dance, y'all, I feel like a crazy person. If I don't
mm,
move my body every day, if I don't go outside, if I don't do like I have so much energy, it needs to
mhm.
be released.
Yes.
And if I just harness all that energy and I don't do anything with it, I get sad, I get lazy, I get whatever in my head and
Mhm,
I start to overthink. Like the energy that's everywhere goes up here.
mm,
So
mhm,
being grounded also we go into the nourishment aspect. I notice it even now, like when I eat something that is fried versus like my body is like, that wasn't good for you. But sometimes
mm,
it's good to have it because it's like, oh well, for sure. Like you don't want to feel like that again. Like last night, oh, we're running out of time, but we have 9 minutes here. Saying that to say, when I drink a smoothie or eat an acai bowl, when I have a dinner with a lot of vegetables, when I have a dinner versus beef, like when I eat meat sometimes, I be having
Mm-hmm.
nightmares, y'all. Like from that
Mm-hmm.
animal, I get the visions of whatever that animal has gone through. Like one time I dreamt of a cow and I was like, why is this cow in my dream? All I did was eat
Mm-hmm.
last night. I eat meat,
Mm-hmm.
y'all. I eat chicken. I eat fish, those kinds of things. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
just saying how the spiritual connection of nourishment,
Absolutely.
of you are what you eat, because that's your
Absolutely.
energy source. And y'all, like, let's just choose let's choose good things.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Mm-hmm.
also takes accountability. So if you're somebody who eats a lot of fast food right now, take it small. Maybe choosing one meal a week that's all living food.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're choosing
Mm-hmm.
your food in if you're a very busy person and you're out, being able to choose like at those restaurants the vegetables. What
Mm-hmm.
are vegetables on this menu?
Mm-hmm.
Is like I'm just gonna go for fries and chicken tenders.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's
It's
something.
easier said than done. It's easier said than done. And we want to just like hold space for those who are having challenges making those nutritional changes, because it's hard. It's not easy.
Challenging,
It's
y'all.
not easy. And so, as much grace and self compassion as possible, because you can have like good stretches, good phases, and then you can revert back. And that doesn't mean that you can't keep trying. Like, my life is a testament to that. Sometimes it's a pizza ting,
Sometimes,
okay?
exactly.
Sometimes, sometimes it's a fried chicken stick. Like, especially when I'm eating with my family, they don't tend to eat green forward,
Mhm.
and I give myself grace. I give myself grace and compassion, and I remind myself that I can, if I am blessed to see another day, I have the option to choose different for myself, and that's a gift. I see it as a gift. Um, but all of these decision making pathways come from where you are on your groundedness journey.
Exactly. And saying that to say, like, we're here now, but there were times when we were not here. It
Mm-hmm,
took choices, it took
mm-hmm,
commitment. And like
mm-hmm,
you said, for example, y'all, I gained back like I lost 20 pounds and I gained back that pounds in like no time from
mm-hmm,
eating like
mm-hmm,
different things that I don't usually eat. And
mm-hmm,
seeing how my body reacted to it, it told me to be like, you know what? You know what it's like to feel better than this. At least that's what I told myself. And it's like, if we're meant to be at the best versions that we're meant to be, you're kind of doing this is what I was telling myself. I was like, Aliana, you're doing yourself a disservice by
mm-hmm,
not not trying your best.
mm-hmm. Absolutely. You only have one life.
So like tomorrow's really not guaranteed, y'all. So it's like today, inviting y'all, what is that choice that you're gonna make today that's gonna make you feel grounded, gonna make you
Yes.
feel spiritually full, gonna make you
Yes.
feel nourished inside,
Yes.
and we're
Ashe.
all human, it's a practice, it's a trial and error. Try to choose one thing that you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
commit to for the next 30 days. Oh, let's just say the next 7 days, even. The next
Mm,
day,
mm.
tomorrow,
The next
today,
day. Yeah.
today.
Literally today. Literally today. Take it day by day.
Yeah, that's gonna make you feel like, oh wow, I did good today. Whatever
Mm-hmm.
that is,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that your future self
Yeah.
is gonna thank you for. Like just a little thing, like I haven't taught a dance class in so long. But when I was asked to teach this dance class, the first class didn't go too loved. They were like,
Mm,
feedback wasn't great. And then they were like, you know what, but we want you to come back for another demo class. And I was like,
mm-hmm.
okay. And they're like, we don't usually give second demo classes, but there was something that they were like, we like you. And
Mm-hmm.
so that second class, I came proper, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody left my class. And I just want to say that was
Ashe.
a huge win. If I didn't say yes to myself, to believe that I was capable of doing that thing that I love to do, even though I haven't done it for a long time, I wouldn't have been able to experience like the joy again. So if you haven't done something that you really love to do, please do it today. If it's the
Mm,
beach, you haven't gone to the beach in a long time, go find a beach. If it's like you haven't gone for a walk, go for a walk today.
mm-hmm. Gift yourself today.
Gift yourself. Casey, is there anything else you would like to add on this topic, or just a little summary, or how you felt throughout the
Mm,
conversation?
mm. I'm just thankful that we're having this conversation. I'm thankful that we are calling on our life experience and our love for the collective to have this conversation. Um, Oftentimes, we are kind of like the spiritual awakening or the spiritual development journey is often one that happens in isolation. You
Mhm.
know, you're kind of like the only one in your bunch that's thinking differently or feeling differently. Oftentimes, sometimes, we give thanks for those who are able to transform in community. Um, but for those of you who might be listening to this who feel like you are alone or isolated on this journey, I'm just thankful that we're having this conversation so that you can know that we love you, that you are loved, that you are guided, you are protected on this journey, and that it is possible for you. Transformation and change is possible for you. Groundedness is a lifetime commitment. A lot of the things on a spiritual development journey is a lifetime commitment. And so, I want to emphasize that doing your best is more than enough. Keeping the goals in mind that you want to be as expansive of a human as possible is more than enough. Go ahead.
On that goal setting,
Mm-hmm.
instead of the outcome, and this is from Atomic Habits, instead of focusing on the outcome of what you want, focus on who you would like to be, who
Ashe.
you want to show up as. And also, if this is like, just congratulating you for showing up today, for listening to
Ashe.
this, for taking what you need and leaving the rest, for being who you are today, because it took a lot to become who you are now.
Ashe. Yeah.
It's a series of choices. So just congratulating you, giving thanks to my sister Casey for embodying and continuing to lead, that idea of leading by example.
Ashe. Thank you. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for seeing me. Yeah,
Give
you got this. If you're listening to this, if you're watching this, you got this. You actually are probably further along than you think. Give yourself more credit.
big up
You can
you.
do this. Yeah, big up you in Ali's words. Big up you. But yeah, you got this. We have
Well,
got
they
this.
say big up yourself. Big up yourself.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So that's all that I have to share. This conversation has been so full, and I am so thankful to have experienced this and shared this wisdom in conversation with you.
Yes, and if you guys want to hear more of things like this, please follow us on
Yes.
YouTube, Instagram at I am Limitless.
Don't follow me.
Don't follow her, y'all, but just
Don't
stay
follow me. The
connected.
page is not ready yet. The page is not ready yet.
I would still encourage y'all to comment below. We will connect with you. Share whatever's on your mind. Share what really stood out to you. Share your ahas. And if you have any questions for us, we're more than willing to connect and respond. Stay tuned for more limitless conversations, and we'll catch you next time. Love
Take good care.
and blessings.
Bye.
Bye. How do we?